What's up, guys? I just wanted to let you know that this episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews, where I'm going to be talking about WrestleMania X-8 for the GameCube, had to be the trailer for the game had to have the audio removed due to fear of copyright strike. I did not want to get a copyright strike because Drowning Pool's Tearaway is playing in the trailer, so I had to remove the audio. Hence, why you don't hear any audio on the trailer when you watch the video. When you watch the trailer for the video game, just wanted to let you guys know that. But now that we got that out the way, enjoy this episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. It's been about a month, I think. But anyway, the series is back, and you know I am going to be taking a look back at the GameCube series of WWE video games, and we're going to start with the first title released exclusively for the Nintendo GameCube, WrestleMania X8 or 18. But before I do, let's get into the trailer. Let's take a look back at it. All right, WrestleMania X8, man, or 18, like I said, man, for the GameCube. So this came out in North America on June 10th, 2002. So this year, on June 10th, the WrestleMania X8 will officially be 23 years old. My goodness, man. And this game was released at the very beginning of the ruthless aggression era. So there are several eras or periods in WWE, and first it started with a golden era. In the 80s, going up to the early 90s, and then from the then you had from the mid 90s till about the mid 90s till about 19 from 94 to 97. You have what was called the new generation era, which focused more on over the top characters rather than in ring work. And then from 1997 to 2000, the tail end of 2001, you have what was called the Attitude Era, which is a which is an era where most fans very fondly uh, think very fondly of when they look back at it. But now, watching it as an adult, you appreciated the edgy storylines in WWE trying to push the envelope, but the in ring work wasn't up to par. It had its great moments. There were some great matches from the Attitude Era. That's not to say that everything was all bad from that era, but the majority of it was kind of daytime television talk show esque. Risque Jerry Springer style storylines and this, that, and the other thing. But and then you had and then, of course, the during that era, during the tail end of the Attitude Era, you had the WCW invasion, which brought over superstars from WCW. Shortly after WWE purchased the company, who at the time were their biggest uh, for a short period of time were their biggest rival wrestling promotion to the WWE. And then the ruthless aggression era, which is when this game came out, you know kind of is at the end of all of that. So at the end of the Attitude Era, and then you look, if you think back on the ruthless aggression era, man, it had so many great future stars. Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, John Cena, Batista, you know, Goldberg came in the Ruthless Aggression era. Not during the WCW invasion in 2001. He came a little bit after that because stars like him, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan, Rey Mysterio, and there were a few others. Decided to sit out their WCW contracts before coming over to WWE because Turner Network and AOL Time Warner, after the merger, was paying those stars that I just mentioned a shit ton of money. So obviously they're not gonna want to come to work if they can sit home. If they can sit home and collect a huge check. So anyway, now that you're all caught up on some of the history behind the eras in WWE, let's talk about WrestleMania X-8, the video game. So, like I said in the beginning, this was the first of four titles released on the Nintendo GameCube, and I will be covering all four of those titles. Well, three of those titles because we're doing WrestleMania X8. But I'll be covering the rest of them on a later time at the series, in the series. So what I remember about this game is I didn't own a Nintendo GameCube till about a year, 2 years after it came out. So I didn't get one till like 2003. But I do remember going over to my friend's house and playing WrestleMania X8 on the GameCube, and I thought, man, this is really like, the controls kind of remind you of No Mercy, which is widely regarded in some circles as one of the best wrestling games of all time. That's up for debate, of course. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain is also in that discussion, but yeah, WrestleMania X8. So PlayStation had the SmackDown series, and then Xbox, the original Xbox, had the Raw series. So the Nintendo GameCube needed its own series, and it started out with WrestleMania X8. So anybody that you can, as far as the roster goes, anybody that you can think of is from the Ruthless Aggression era is in this game. Like I said, Rey Mysterio, the Hurricane, Kane, Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, John Cena, Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H. Man, just anybody that you can think of from the Ruthless Aggression era is pretty much in this game. And what made it so cool was the NWO, who just kind of reformed in 2002. Made their first appearance. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall had defected back to WCW, the rival company, in 1996, and then of course Hollywood Hulk Hogan left the WWE 2 years prior to that in 1994, and now they're all back and they're all in this game. So it was really cool to kind of see, to kind of play with Hall and Nash, and in the game, man. And like I said, man, this game, although it didn't have commentary and the controls were a little wonky, man, it was still a very, very enjoyable game. The only thing that I didn't like about the game when I got my own copy was I got a chance to play the story mode, and it's not really a story mode. Like you basically create a character, and you start out in the WWE. Your career is going well, but then then you get taken out, and you kind of have to fight your way back into WWE through a series of challenges, and you're up against Stephanie McMahon, the evil general manager and stuff like that. It was just kind of weird. It wasn't your typical story mode that you see in WWE games today, where there's like seasons and intricate storylines and branching story paths. There was none of that back then. But anyway, still weird but enjoyable. But man, the Nintendo GameCube series of WWE games is severely underrated because, like I said, like I said, uh, No Mercy and SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, and even SmackDown versus Raw get mentioned. But then when you look at the Nintendo GameCube series of WWE titles, it doesn't really get the respect it deserves. Although WrestleMania X-8 was an okay debut on the GameCube, the games would get better. Of course, WrestleMania 19, and then Day of Reckoning 1 and 2. Uh, but yeah, man, it's still an enjoyable game. I had a lot of I have a lot of fun memories playing it, and I hope to somehow someday fire up a GameCube and throw it on again because I still have my copy somewhere in the basement. But let me know what you guys thought of WrestleMania X8 for the GameCube. If you still have it, or if you still play it today, please let me know down in the comments, man. Let's talk about it. But anyway, that is gonna do it for this episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I, will, of course, will see you guys on the next one. Peace.